hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. If you get sleep or if you get night,
the cock's gonna call in the morning, baby.
And check the cupboard for your daddy's gun.
Red sun rises like an early warning.
The Lord's gonna come for your firstborn son.
His hair's on fire and his heart is burning.
So go to the river where the water runs.
Wash him deep where the tides are turning.
And if you fall, and if you fall, hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. The wolves will chase you by the pale moonlight.
Drunk and driven by a devil's hunger.
Drive your son like a railroad spike
into the water, let it pull him under.
But though you lift him, let him drown alive.
The good Lord speaks like a rolling thunder.
Let that fever make the water run.
Let the river run dry.
Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. Hold my hand.
Hello and welcome to Till Death Do Us Blart, the only annual Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 review podcast, releasing on Thanksgiving on the open market. As I understand it, I am your host, Guy Montgomery, and it's very exciting for us to be turning 5 here. I'm joined, as always, by my 4 friends and colleagues, the brothers McElroy.
Hello. Hi.
Almost perfectly in unison, like we practiced. And, of course, all the way from New Zealand, young Tim Batt.
Reporting in.
Hey, you fellas, how's everyone doing?
Fuck this.
Well,
Yeah, man. I did just watch the movie Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
I wish I had gone back and re-listened to the last couple years, because I feel like, fellas, we were on a streak there for 2 years, which is about half of this podcast existence, where we were fucking feeling it.
Yep.
And the Holy Spirit was not moving me last night.
Last night I sat down. I had it all booted up on my Apple TV. This is not a plug. It's just what I used. And I could not bring myself to hit play. And somehow that then quickly escalated to this year I'm also going to watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 1. So I watched 3 fucking hours of Blart this year.
Okay, just a real quick check just to confirm. Foot Locker, is it
Not
a thing?
referenced
Not
at all.
referenced. Okay, just double checking that.
There's many of those nuggets I'm going to drop on you. Oh, boy.
I can't.
Travis, I just spent an hour and a half getting nuggets dropped on me last night. I don't want more of them.
I literally, guys, I can't do the plot this year. I can't.
Let's not.
I can't
Can we do
the,
ourselves? Let's give
none
ourselves
of
a Thanksgiving Day present and not try and recap the plot of this fucking. If you want that, go listen to the last 4 episodes. We can't do it anymore.
Oh, I was just going to say quickly, before we get into it, I was just going to say Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is a movie where Paul Blart, a security guard who has a somewhat, outstanding reputation in his community, is invited to go to some sort of security guard convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's joined by his daughter not long after a devastating divorce with his wife of 6 days. And you'll remember his
monologue. It will
You're
be a
making it
monologue.
sound so sad. And it is.
It's a hugely sad movie.
Yeah, it is.
I
It's
don't
not a
want
good
any
movie.
of this at all. I was just in it. I was in too much of it, and I don't need any more.
I want to tell you one of the biggest differences betwixt a PB1 and PB2.
Okay.
PB1
Hit me.
is altogether far more of a movie, like what you would think of like a movie with like plot and like character development and seemingly like cause and effect. And he's not like the happiest guy, But he's not like a sad sack of shit through the whole thing. Like he doesn't have a lot going on, but in a way that you would assume is like, you know, if not average, not a lot going on for people, like just barely below average. Like he's not the saddest person, as opposed to when you get to PB2, where they begin the movie of like, this guy's got nothing.
But I feel like that there's a cartoonishness there that is at least a bit of a relief, because you could think, well, nobody's this shitty. But in Paul Blart 1, it sounds like there's a hint of realism there, and it could just be Kevin James, and that's not great.
There is very much, I would say, much more hint of realism in PB1. And in PB1, he also begins it, and I actually found this rather, I appreciated this, is that he is doing an obstacle course to get into the state trooper training program. And he's actually very deft and very dexterous at it. And it's only his hypoglycemia that is his undoing as he falls asleep right in the middle of the training course.
Let's have ourselves a little science chat about hypoglycemia, a term I Googled for the first time this year. The conditions under which I watched this movie were duress. I also added a second party to the duress, and that is my wife, Rachel, who agreed to watch the film with me after years of protesting. And she
loved it.
Didn't care for this one. But she also brought up, like, hey, hypoglycemia, that doesn't work like it works in the movie. Yes. And that led me down a path of learning what hypoglycemia is. Near as I can tell, it has nothing to do with like narcolepsy, falling asleep, whatever. Like it can make you faint when you have low blood sugar. But that's what hypoglycemia is, the condition of having low blood sugar. Like there are people who are hypoglycemic because they are more prone to the condition. But hypoglycemia isn't a disease; it's a condition, right? Am I mixing those two things?
Like
regardless, it's a fucking wild plot device.
It doesn't
to
affect
make
you like
shit
Kryptonite
up.
and the Yellow Sun as it would a Superman, where the Paul Blart, he hasn't had the sugar that makes him strong, and so he falls down. And with but a drop or two of a child's ice cream, or in Paul Blart 1, where the exact same scene is played out, where he's on, in this case, a radio with the bad guy and falls asleep in the middle of it because of his hypoglycemia, falls on the ground to find a dirty, gross lollipop, which he then eats and instantly springs back up.
Hey, Hey, Tim Bat, how was your watch this time, man? How was the watch?
It was big. It was really big.
Tell us about Tim's day out.
So I'm coming to you from sunny New Zealand, where I am by myself in a studio. Which seems
where's everyone else gone?
Those words out loud. I was wearing a 3D headset, so I had Blart and the virtual reality, and I also embarked on half a tab of acid about an hour before I watched the movie, which just ended before I got on the microphone with you guys. It was all good. It was cool. And please throw down, Rob. Just keep talking. You must interrupt me.
Well, how was it like? I mean, what was
everything.
the experience like?
It was just like it was cool to be able to clear the calendar for something so frivolous and just really like, I don't know. Have you ever? It'd be like diving into a question mark, you know, like on a page, just looking at a tiny little detail and inserting yourself inside of the tiny thing. Traveling to inside of an atom and being like, hey man, I don't know if the acting's any good in here, but it's fun. It's cool.
But it
It's
really
a
is
cool
nothing.
adventure.
This is really nothing.
Yeah, it's almost a, I mean, yeah, this works on all levels, but it's a real waste of a trip.
Did you follow plot? Did you follow plot at all, or was that not even like a consideration in the space you were at?
You go in and out, and I think that's the beauty of it. You don't get too attached to anything. So in some ways, it works way better because you're less attached for the whole 90 minutes that everything has to gel and make sense, or it all has to be funny, or it all has to be a movie at all. You know, just like fuck, I don't know, it's something.
So what are
weird.
you thinking about though, Tim? Because in the context of the podcast, you know, like if you're watching the movie and you're not totally engaged in the plot, you're thinking your own thoughts, presumably.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do you think? Well, like, what are you thinking about? Because before we recorded, I was thinking about. I was explaining to someone why I couldn't have dinner with them, and they had no context for this at all. I don't know this person very well. And by the end of it, I was sort of thinking to myself, well, if nothing else, eventually this will be a very interesting exploration into mortality. I'm not saying in our 5th year, but at some point, this podcast is going to take an incredible turn.
Yeah, at some point.
Well,
Absolutely.
my brain didn't go there this time, guy. But shit.
I'd love to take a moment. I highlighted some peaks and valleys that I've never touched on before, and I don't know what it is about the 5th watch. This one hit me hard, guys. I'll be honest. This is the one where I started to feel like I don't want to anymore, that I'm a busy person and I don't want to anymore. But let's talk about some peaks and valleys. I actually wrote the first note I took extensive notes for this viewing just to have something to do. First thing I wrote down here is Kevin James sucks, which is accurate, though a bit general.
In what context is what I'm wondering?
He just sucks, man. It's like all this stuff sucks ass. It's like it's really stupid.
Whenever he just throws up a real clunkerina, I feel that same. I almost took the same exact note on like a chicken chow lane. My only response to that is, "You fucking suck, dude."
It sucks, dude.
That Windershins got me this year. Where I was just like, "Fuck you,
fuck you."
on,
It's a
dude,
non-joke.
that
You didn't
sucks.
write something there.
That and Foot Locker too, having watched an hour and a half of extra context. And
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna put a brief embargo on talking about Paul Blart 1 because I'm having a hard time talking about more Paul Blart than we are legally required to annually speak.
Yeah, it's more bacon than the pan can handle at this point. Lonnie Love, who plays the security guard, who talks about RoboCop in the first scene, she greets him, Donna. She has an engineering degree. I think that's cool.
Okay, so this expands beyond the four corners
Kind
of
of
the
an
screen.
EU extended universe.
Okay.
Here's one. The scene where he scolds his daughter for wearing a bathing suit that's too revealing sucks fucking so hard.
Yeah.
And it baffles me to watch it now, to think that they would like waddle this film into like body shaming issues like that they have to navigate, and like all this stuff that they have to like gross, weird, like daddy daughter stuff they have to navigate. There's no reason for them to veer the movie into this territory.
They voluntarily go into because I asked Rachel about how she felt about the scene where Paul Blart convinces a woman who was being sexually harassed that she was in the wrong, and she said, I mean, it was fucking terrible, but it was also completely a nothing unnecessary scene. It's like they just like picked up the shotgun and pointed it at their leg and was like, let's just do this in the movie now. Because there's
Since Griffin mentioned that, I have to say, this is one of my two actually contextual things I have to mention. That Jackie Sandler, who is the woman in that scene, is also in Paul Blart 1 as a completely different character.
So weird.
cool.
Plays an attendant, a like, you know, the checkout person at a Victoria's Secret in a scene where Paul Blart also body shames a woman because she is trying to buy the last bra in a size, and there is also a slimmer woman there. And Paul Blart is trying to talk her out of it because he understands.
shit.
And then that woman beats the shit out of him.
That's good.
Okay, can I ask though, Travis, beyond identifying the fact that Jackie Sandler's character worked at Victoria's Secret in the first movie and she's relaxing at a bar in Las Vegas, Nevada in the second, what evidence do you have that this is a different character?
That is fair. My only evidence was that Paul Blart did not say, oh my God, Joan or whatever.
This is not a man living an examined life. Like this is not a man with his eyes open. Now, okay, I want to hit just a couple more high points and low points. When in the great scene, one of the scenes where Anna Gasteyer fucking heroically puts this movie on her back and tries to carry it out of enemy fire so it could die peacefully in the roadside. One of the great scene where she's talking about listening to Sarah McLachlan music because she was so depressed. And we've never highlighted this line before, I don't think, but when he tells her that his daughter is leaving, she says, "That's just as depressing as Idaho," which I have to imagine is a line that she wrote herself because it has at least a joke-like structure. So that's a good one.
No kidding. I'll tell you, like, my mind did a lot of like wandering over the hour and a half, but the thing I keep coming back to is how good Anna Gasteyer was. And
so
if you
fucking
can put
good.
Commendations in for military medals to go to civilians, I think she should get the Purple Heart.
Yes, she is inspiring.
I don't want to take anything away from the costuming department for this movie, but hers is so standout that it's hard for me not to think that it's her.
It has to be her.
What would be great if I wore yes, right?
Okay, if I could just highlight two more things. One that sucks fucking so bad, and then another one that sucks worse. When Lane and Maya realize what is happening with the crime, this interchange takes place in the film. Maya says, "I think they're stealing art from the hotel," and Lane says, "From the what?" And she says, "From the hotel." What the fuck? What the fuck? What fucking planet would context clues aside, they are in a hotel. It does stand to reason.
The what?
This piece of shit works at the hotel for his job. And she's like, they're stealing art from the hotel, and he's never heard of a hotel all of a sudden. It fucking sucks.
I just want to say on that note, I fucking hated Lane this watch.
Oh, it was a bad watch for Lane, huh?
It was. Like, as soon as that scene came up, and it leads off with, I was right about the Frankfurters, right? And I thought, this fucking Lothario.
This fucking guy.
He's laying down this Frankfurters line on every young woman coming through here. He's probably, cleaning out the gift shop of these snow globes. Because here's the thing. You can't say it was either snow globe or sunscreen. I've been in these hotel gift shops. It's not just that.
There's more. There's drones.
Right.
I would like to go into bet for Lane briefly, if I may.
Please.
Good luck.
I think he earnestly likes her. I only noticed for the first time, and this is all in keeping with an observation I made, where they're talking about she got her scholarship to UCLA, and he says it took him, his parents are so supportive, they'd be so excited for him. It took him 3 times to pass his GED.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and then she says, laughs like it's a joke, and says, closer to 4 times. And then there's a beat where it's like, this guy's thick. And so all of these mistakes he's making, it's the first time, it seems odd that they'd really hammer this home 5 watches in, but it did feel like they were really trying to emphasize the fact that we've got a fucking idiot on our hands here. And so all of these subsequent pieces of decision making are informing this very bold choice that they've made.
Guy, if I may, you going to bat for Lane he's dumb.
Yeah, I will also say in Lane's defense, he could pop out of the TV screen Purple Rose of Cairo style and spit in my hair. I'll still laugh every time he makes that face when she smashes his snow globe. That shit's fucking good every time.
I got a good chuckle out of that one again. Did get a good...
I will also say along Guy's thesis of Lane's thickness, he has also been told by the housekeeping staff, hey, this suite's going to be empty. So he invites what appears to be 150 teenagers to have a party in the hotel where he works. He is going to lose his job.
That's fine. He deserves it, though.
That's like a different thing. That's not stupidity. That's living in the moment. That's true. It's all good, man. That's a part of
living every moment.
I think I was on the same wavelength as you, Guy, because I felt bad for Lane in that scene that you're talking about where they're by the pool. And then Maya leaves just after that, and there's only like half a line that indicates it's not because he just dropped this bit of information that he had to repeat several years at high school. Because without this thing where she goes like, I hope I see you later, or some throwaway line like that, it's just, oh yeah, no, I really struggled at high school, but my parents were really proud of me when I eventually graduated. And she goes, okay, see ya. Bye. It just gets up and leaves, and I felt so bad for him, man.
Yeah, I also beyond that did get the feeling that he really does care for Maya. I mean, you know, there are alarm bells that he's a guy working at a hotel in Las Vegas and he's chatting up, you know, some young dame.
Sure.
But I feel like his intentions are pure. I like the kid.
What are his intentions? I'm sorry, guys. She's there for at most like 2 or 3 days.
So you can find love like that.
Ugh. I do not trust this.
The mind of a child. It's innocent.
Here's the last thing I want to say. It fucking made me so mad. You know the bad scene where Neil McDonough.
I know. I'm sorry, Justin.
Neil McDonough and Paul Blart are just yelling things at each other.
Oh,
and saying that they're very crazy to say, like wild things for them to say. Paul Blart. Sorry,
You don't have to say it here.
Okay,
this can be a safe space, but he just says something very bad.
He says
nothing.
One of them says, I literally cannot tell you. I think it's Neil McDonough says, I will lay eggs in your brain like a baby spider. Well,
No, that's a Paul Blart line.
That's a Paul Blart line. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul, can we talk for a second? That's not how it works, bud. The babies don't come out and start laying eggs. Which would be rough if he was just like a day-to-day human being. They put it in the movie, you know? Yeah. They made that decision to put that fucking bogus line in there.
That. Someone could have said, hey, I think you said it wrong, Kevin.
I feel bad for Neil McDonough. I feel like Neil McDonough, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, he's not just picking up a paycheck, right? He's bringing himself to this film.
Oh, yeah.
He and D.B. Woodside are working their asses off. And Anna Gasteyer. All three of them are working their asses off.
Who's D.B. We've had this
He's the NSA agent that Neil McDonough bankrolled.
If we're giving out props, I also think the guy who plays Gino Chisetti really brought the fucking noise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a YouTube star. That's the one that Kevin James was a fan of, so brought in because he liked his YouTube work.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That old guy?
Yes.
I wanted to give...
sorry, one more thing. I forgot to mention this, talk about Jackie Sandler. Also, the dude who plays Saul Gundermutt, he was also, who is, I think, Kevin James's brother. He was also in Paul Blart 1, but as a different character.
That's
Y'all,
great.
dead ass. I was watching this with Rachel. She saw Saul Gundermutt, and after he left the screen, she started cracking up. I was like, why? And she's like, I just realized that's not Paul Giamatti. And I was like, That's so why she thought he was on like prosthetics, and then every time he popped up, I tried to envision what kind of brain space you have to be in.
A hopeful one, I'd say.
Here's a fun game for you, Griffin. What is the process that what does Paul Giamatti have to go through to become the person who's
that's why I was. We're on some full blown fucking moose. Oh shit! What was the movie with Steve Carell as the wrestling coach? Like that level of just like prosthetics.
Fox something.
Foxcatcher. Yes. I wanted to give as long as we're giving big props and shout outs and military medals and raising them up to the heavens, I do forever and forever. Amen. The big sticky mess, a grenade launcher that shoots glue foam. The big sticky mess, a grenade launcher that shoots glue foam.
Guy with a weapon.
The guy who delivered everybody in that scene. Go next year, if you remember when you're watching that scene, every single vendor has the most absolutely just demented delivery of those lines. But the big sticky mess, a grenade launcher that shoots glue foam, is off the chains, dog.
That guy is amazing.
I wish there was a scene. I wish there was a cutaway gag when he fires it at Neil McDonough and glue just gloops out the sides and the back. I wish there was a cutaway to that guy like, oh, no. Not like this. Oh, no. He's getting in his car. He's packing his bags. I'm ruined.
One of those guys, the next guy up does the marbles, and he starts up his line. I wish I had written it down because it was also good, but I was still cracking up about glue foam. It's just like, marbles. No one can stand on these things. Like, it's an every single one of them is just not
that one made me
ready.
mad this year. I was just
Marbles?
like, yeah, when he demonstrates it, he just kind of dumps it into that big brandy sniffer. Like, there's no, like, what did you think it was going to do, Paul Blart?
If that gun worked correctly as a weapon, wouldn't they be like crazy little glass spheres at
Yes.
high speed? Like that's fucking brutal, man.
This is my point. At best, they're offering you, we'll cover the ground in marbles. You could just do that by dumping it over that brandy sniffer. Like, you don't need a launcher for that. Anyways, the guy who gets shocked a bunch of times by the pool when he's stealing the Van Gogh, when he says the line like, oh, come on, man, I felt very real pity for him this year. Like, because he has been shocked consecutively so many times. He's going to have some permanent nerve damage for sure.
But you can't, more than the man who is shot with a high voltage wire attached to a fork, which Rachel pointed out this year, that level of like on the fly, like electrical engineering he does is pretty fucking bananas.
Yes.
He rips a wire out of like a fuse box and then unscrews the battery from his fork and just kind of puts the wire in it.
Yes, he does.
And that's electricity.
Baby, they all came to play.
Yes. We might have talked about this before, but there's also he beanbags a dude in the chest who falls into a pool and submerges in it.
Dead. He does that to two dudes. Dead.
Dead. Definitely dead.
Because we're on this, I think I desperately tried to write a note, but I've looked at my chicken scratch and it's not actual letters or anything. But I remember thinking at the end, there was something that triggered this thought for me. I don't think Paul Blart knows what alive or dead is. It's coming to me now in real time. I remember what it is. It's because he reconciles how there are all the security guards behind Neil McDonough in the hallway, and he's genuinely baffled, and he's like, oh, non-lethal. Like he's just figured out what that phrase means. And I don't know if he kind of really understands what mortality is up until this point.
Yeah.
Like what the difference is. Because he
You know
thinks
what
that he's
makes-
taken out all the guys.
What makes me so angry about that, and I promise I'll only speak about PB1 in context, but in PB1, as he takes the guards out one by one, because it's the exact same movie, he ties them up. Like he
Interesting.
He does that in Paul Blart 1, and then somehow, in the years, which, by the way, here's a weird thing I figured out watching this movie. So Paul Blart 1 came out in 2009. Paul Blart 2 came out in 2015.
Do the math.
When it starts in Paul Blart 2, he says it's been 2 years. When actually, in the context of the movie being released, it's been 6.
2021, right? We're going to get PB3.
Yes.
If there's a good Lord in heaven above. I'd like to jump to a new segment that I would love.
Before you do your new segment, can I play one more highlight for me? And it's one from Saul Gunderson, correct? Gundermutt. So it's during the Cirque du Soleil scene when Paul is drawn into Cirque du Soleil. I'm actually going to play. I pulled up the audio for you so I could play it real quick. I just need you guys not to talk until the line is done. It's the I watched it and I literally said out loud, why is that in the movie? Because the idea that this line is in the movie is very strange to me. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
I need silence.
Yep.
This whole thing's like a pool inside, like an indoor pool. Unbelievable.
I love that line. I registered that for the first time as well.
Fucking in the movie, like someone's like, oh, that's good. That's going in the fucking movie. This whole thing's like a pool inside. It's like an indoor pool. That's so fucking.
You kidding me?
That's wild.
That didn't get you? Maybe it was my unique state of watching this time, but I tell you what, they're fucking slayed in the room. That was my eye.
I had a valley real quick that I wanted to mention that for some reason really fucking bothered me this time, which was when the dealer or whatever at the craps table says, if you're going to stand at the table, you have to bet, which no, you do not. You only have to bet if you're going to throw. You can stand
Travis,
at the table.
This is year 10 shit. Like, you're way too
I
granular.
know, listen, I know it's not germane to the movie at all, but it bothered me so fucking much.
I want to introduce my new segment now, Tech Watch. And this is a segment where every year, let's all pay very special attention to the technology being used by the robbers. This year, what really stood out, we've featured unofficially this segment in past episodes, including the incredible folding CGI computer with 5 tiny monitors, which is very good and powerful. This year, I wanted to give a special shout out to, there's a big TV in the background that is playing essentially a 3D screensaver that's just kind of like scanning through a very long hallway in the hotel endlessly. What are you guys using that for? What data is being transmitted in this map of one hallway that is apparently infinitely looping? What are you looking at that for, and why do you need it on constantly? Maybe there's one planning session where you need to look at the map, but it's not being updated in real time. There's no way. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me.
That's the big point of pride for DB Woodside, right? That map. Because he goes, I hope I got the right NSA guy. And he takes out this piece of technology.
Man, I wish that was the line, by the way, Guy. I wish it was, I hope I got the right NSA guy.
It's one word away from that. I think it's like, man, I hope we bribed the wrong right.
I hope we bankrolled the right NSA agent. But it's way better of, I hope we got the right NSA guy.
I mean, that's probably, I feel like that's more in keeping with the general effort and tone of the film. And then he flaps open his prop, and that's when the loop starts playing, and he's like, oh, shit, this is all I've got. And so he goes, well, you be the judge, and just hopes that everyone buys the confidence that he sells it with, so that technology is indeed enough as far as they understand it. They're like, well, I guess we did get the best guy if he got this little loop going.
Between this year and next year, I want to contact some sort of security firm and show them scenes from the movie where the robbers just plug USB devices into the pedestals holding the art that helps them steal it, and ask them what that could possibly fucking mean on Earth.
Well, here's the problem, Griffin, is that we're going to reach a point. Have you ever heard the theory that Star Trek, in like having made up sci-fi like technology, actually then influenced and changed the way we looked at it? So like handheld devices and like automatic doors and stuff like that. What if like
the fucking phone?
There's some security.
They're not
watching
the same.
Paul Blart. Yeah. And by the time we ask a security person, they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, does exist."
I don't want to think that the communicator, which it looks like started as a sci-fi dream and then became the blueprint upon which we made our cell phones. I hope we don't go backwards and start paying attention to Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 and go, hey, you know what statues need? USB 2.0 ports. All of them. Get on it right now.
Oh, Griffin, not to step on like future material for the segment, can I say a piece of technology I noticed for the first time watching this one?
Hey, it's everyone's segment, baby.
All right. They go to steal that Van Gogh, and they put the laser, like they're kind of like sticky mice kind of thing, on the glass, and it traces around and cuts the glass off. And the reason I noticed that for sure this year is then they steal the Van Gogh, and then they go to the trouble of putting a fake one there, even though they just cut the glass off the front of it. Which seems like they're buying themselves at most 3 extra seconds.
Yeah.
It's an honor thing. I feel like they don't need to be replacing any of this artwork.
Right.
They're just, they're thieves, but they're not thugs.
Right.
I went ahead and pulled up, just to give us a nice little palate cleanser, give everybody a chance to get a sip. I went ahead and pulled up the scene in the Chekhov's gun show. Just so we could hear. Last year we heard the delivery on the glue gun bit, but let's go ahead and hear that Marvel's delivery because it is very choice.
What's the latest, friend? The big sticky mess. A grenade launcher that shoots glue foam.
Marbles. You can't run with these on your feet. You can't even stand.
Amazing. I mean, it's amazing.
It's really good.
It's starting to feel like all Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 needs to really shine as the, bastion of achievement in comedy is for it to be listened to out of context.
Yeah. A quick re-edit by us, I think, would really make it work.
Yeah, a 4-minute long movie.
I'd just like to quickly say the other thing that I thought it really had going for it, and I know that we've beaten this to death before, but I was really down and out about, I don't know how far, halfway into the movie. And then, of course, there's the arrival of the Shadow Man when Paul has to step outside to get a breath.
Yes.
And I just thought it's so beautiful that in the middle of what is otherwise a virtually unwatchable piece of cinema, they have just laid this perfect little short film, like genuinely the pinnacle of achievement. It's got an entirely self-contained story. You can withdraw this from the film.
Okay.
Yeah,
It makes
and
exactly
that
as
should-
much sense.
And should do that.
Here's the thing, Guy. Thank you for saying that, because I was watching it this year, and for the first time I thought, was this a reshoot? Because it is completely self-contained. Like, maybe there was a different way that he took out the security guard guy. Because
Hank.
Hank.
I hate that I know their names.
Yes, it's not connected to anything else. It's completely removable.
It's also perfect storytelling, because what you've got at the start, you have someone who needs something, which is we see Paul, he needs a breath, he needs to find himself, so he steps outside. Then you've got he receives that thing immediately, which is peace and quiet, accompanied by a piano, and then a challenge. There's some sort of obstacle or conflict is introduced in the form of the bird, and he accepts that challenge. And you watch the entire conflict play out, and then Resolute, like, it does a much better job of telling a story than the entirety of the fucking disaster it's encased in.
It's more of a movie than the rest of it is.
It's the hero's journey, sort of encapsulated
in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
There was also a moment in another thing that really stood out to me this year for some reason for the first time. So we talked about before how they're really trying to lay it on and make it seem like the elder security guard, the actual dude who's the boyfriend of the woman, like that he's the bad guy.
Eduardo.
That
Eduardo, whose real name is, you guessed it, Eduardo.
Yes. Now here's the thing. In PB1, there is a double twist bad guy reveal thing, a couple of them actually, and I'll talk about this in a second, but so they're laying it on pretty thick that Eduardo is the bad guy, and there is a line where DB Woodsize tells Neil McDonough they're changing the security parameters or something early, and he said, but you said blah blah blah, and he's like, well, my man on the inside told me blah blah blah, and they're like setting up that there's a man on the inside, which is never again addressed, which
Incorrect.
No, it is.
The guy with
when they hold the guy at gunpoint.
The guy with the jacket. The buttons that haven't been made by Centos in 19 years.
Wait. No,
No,
they're
that's
two different guys. You're talking about the one
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Griffin.
Griff's
You're
got
correct.
Okay. Well, that was a waste of everyone's time. Travis, don't try and poke holes in this movie where they don't exist. There's plenty of fucking holes.
There's nothing to poke holes in. It's not a movie.
Will not find purchase in the soil of this film that does not have a hole in it already.
What's amazing about this journey into the impervious nature of Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is I am utterly convinced we had the same conversation that ended the same way last year.
Probably.
Oh my God.
Listen,
sounds
if
so
anything,
good.
this podcast is about mortality, but also the cyclical nature of time.
Well, I want to talk about bringing in fresh meat to that podcast by watching
please.
this with my wife. Because in a lot of ways, it was a very anxiety-inducing situation for me. Because as much as I think this movie's a big old turd boat, I also felt
It's like going home a little bit, right? It's like a little
Christ,
bit like
no,
going
no.
home.
It's like you're afraid your girlfriend won't get along with your family kind of thing. You're like, I hate them, but they're my family.
no. This is not my family or my home. But what is my home?
Why are you so protective over it, Griffin?
Well, what is my home? What is my family is the brown banana scene. Is glue foam. Is
Did she laugh at the old woman?
the old woman getting punched? She tittered at that old banana. Nary a smirk, and I looked at her like, real. But this is my fucking. What does this say about me? That this is my absolute jammer jam.
I think there's a difference in your perspective on the movie when you are wrapped up in hating it a lot. Like it's not going to be able to win you back with the brown banana scene.
Yeah,
if you're looking for
right.
any point of light you can find, then maybe. I mean,
She
like,
laughed. She loved the Shadow Man scene. Like Rofflin
fucking
on
good.
the floor. Love Shadow Man. Like so it's not like it was a
man.
joyless experience for her. But like when she didn't laugh at Brown Banana, I was like, oh fuck. Is this the
if
end
you didn't
for
laugh
us?
at this, you are not about to have a fun hour.
No, the rest of it's not very good. But it also was great because it brought in all kinds of new insights, including one that came at the very top of the movie in the scene where they first get to the hotel and he's trying to negotiate his way into getting into his room. And there's the conversation with Donna about RoboCop. During that scene, she said, "Why is it so quiet?" And I said, "What?" And she said, there's like no background noise whatsoever. And we had to turn up the TV extremely, extremely, extremely loud to hear any trace of like in the background. And then it was kind of like, y'all ever read like a science article about like the lab where they do sound experiments? They've made the quietest room on earth that's like negative 10 decibels, and you go in there and you can hear your own heartbeat, and then within 45 minutes you've lost completely your mind. I felt that way for the rest of the movie. It was a curse because I felt like every character was screaming at the top of their lungs.
It's probably because you have the volume so damn loud, dude.
No, it was a contrast situation. And she also pointed out, like, because of this, it sounds like it's a table read, which then made me realize it probably is the first time most of these people are saying these words out loud. I doubt that there's been much sort of rehearsal that has gone on for this, which is maybe how we get a glue foam. Maybe that's how we get a Marbles.
All of those people were locals. 1,000%. Like, maybe they just showed up to a real trade show and had those people read lines.
The hardest I laughed this watch, though, was during the ice cream dripping section, the top-down shot of the cream falling into Paul Blart's mouth, and Rachel just went, "What do you think it was like for them to shoot this scene?" And I was like, I'm done. She was like, there had to be somebody dripping cream into Kevin James's open, awaiting mouth while a cameraman hung 1.5 feet overhead. Like, that must have been a weird day.
I actually took a note on that scene saying... there's a lovely mosaic. When it's the close-up of the ice cream dropping on his face, the color palette on it's really nice, and the pink was really popping this evening. I wrote, lovely mosaic while ice cream comes on Kevin James' face, which is the only way to describe the ice cream landing on his big fucking mouth.
She also confirmed for me when the daughter pulls out the gigantic tube of oatmeal concealer and smears that all over bad guy's face. She just went, "Oh, that's nothing."
Yes.
That's nothing. Oatmeal concealer is not anything. Oatmeal can be a shade of concealer, maybe, but no, there's not oatmeal concealer. And if there was, it certainly wouldn't come in a fucking 36-ounce banana boat tube. That's insane.
Okay, listen, it is a point of pride to me that we have definitely talked about that before, because that is the thing that stands out to me every watch of just like, wait, oatmeal concealer, oatmeal lotion is a
there's
thing.
so many Chekhov's guns that like I'm
they forgot
imagining
to set up.
No, they did set that one up. That's what sucks is when we were watching it and the dude was like, "What is that?" And the guy was like, "It's an oatmeal cookie."
It's got a cookie.
Get that away from me. I'm deathly allergic. Rachel just laughed because she's like, "That sucks," and that's gonna be the big thing later. And I was like, I felt so stupid because I wanted her to be tricked by it at least once.
Here's the thing.
Did she get tricked by the fork?
No, the fork she saw coming too.
The fork has fucking 4 close-up cutaways to make sure you understand the idea of a fork. There's literally 4 shots where it's like, and then the light turns green and it vibrates for 5 seconds. And
I thought the fork was pretty subtle today. So
Okay, here's the thing, though, Griffin. Here's what I mean about the Chekhov's gun for the oatmeal concealer. Is that, yes, he does say he is allergic to oatmeal, right? But they have not set up that she has it, or because, like, where did she get it from? Why does she have oatmeal? Like, that's like if there was a scene in a Chekhov play where somebody just randomly said, "I'll die if someone shoots me." That's not the same.
I treated myself. I had kind of a treat this watch that I decided to dip in after I finished the film. I said what you guys all said. I'm sure that can't be all of it. There's got to be more of this fucking flick. And so I dipped into some of the deleted scenes and special features this time. The deleted scenes are, I would encourage you to track them down, fucking amazingly inert in their addition of any dramatic tension or humor or anything. They're all establishing shots. There's like an establishing shot of Eduardo getting off a motorcycle. There's a shot of him in the Wynn Casino with Maya for the first time, just saying like, this is a casino. And she's like, good. So we should do a movie adventure here. Yes, of course. Excellent. But then there's featurettes that take you behind the scenes. Ooh. There is a 2-minute long one just about the Segway. There's a 2-minute long one where it's just Kevin James riding the Segway and talking about being on the Segway, and that's the entire featurette. You get to see in this featurette, you know, the one scene where it's right after Paul Blart gets onto the Segway, and then at the end of it, he gets hit by a car. Well, in this scene, you get to meet Kevin James's stuntman, and
finally
get to watch him be hit by a car. You get to watch him be hit by a car like 5 to 6 times in service of this film, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. And I found something that actually like really clarifies the movie for me quite a bit. Is I think I know the problem now, and there's so many people bringing it, and then I think I found the actual problem, and that it's Andy Fickman, the director of the movie Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. This guy has a fucking energy that Sydney said it best. She said, if this guy hasn't written an essay about how the Me Too movement ruined comedy, I'll eat my fucking slippers. This is this fucking guy.
Yeah.
He EP'd on Kevin Can Wait for 46 episodes, and right now he's run a bunch of different shows. As a cinematic director, he's got a bunch of TV stuff, including like Kevin James's TV special, a bunch of TV stuff. He did Who's Your Daddy, She's the Man, The Game Plan, Race to Witch Mountain, and then Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, which as far as I can tell was his last.
Race to Witch Mountain beats ass, though.
Yeah. Sorry. He's got a new one in theaters right now. It's called Playing with Fire, starring John Cena. Was released on like 39th. Yeah, that should, if that gives you any. He is fucking busting a gut at the most inane garbage that Kevin James is delivering. And then he pulls over a seat. Come on, Kevin, come watch this. And then Kevin's laughing too. That's shit like Chicken Chow Lane, like nothing. These guys are busting a gut.
Yeah.
I think you're being so unfair. I want to say my piece. You've picked that line like it's endemic. It's representative of the whole movie.
I'll pick a different one, no problem. I'll pick a 30 other ones, no problem.
Go.
Okay.
Give me 2 more.
2 more that are as bad as that.
Yeah.
I'll have okay. How about some smog on my earthquake flakes? Tim,
it's funny, man.
Yeah, Justin, I'm sorry, that one's not bad.
Smog on my. Are you fucking with me, guys?
Flustered.
Seriously,
He's flustered and he's worried about his daughter
whole
going away to college.
Wintershins,
Okay, that's bad.
Foot Locker.
Okay.
I like the line.
I will definitely give you those 2. But I'll tell you why the earthquake flakes thing is so funny. Because it's like watching someone trying to do comedy.
Yes.
It's that kind of funny.
It
like
is the most real line, I would say, in the whole movie.
Yeah, if you got someone off the street and went, "Hey, there's a stand-up show that's happening. Like it's happening right now. It's going on, and you're on in 45 seconds," and then you just put a spotlight and a microphone in front of them. That's what would happen.
If this flick had been painful anti-comedy of Paul Blart posting up airball after airball, I would be here for it. I genuinely would love to see that flick of just like. And I guess we're close, right? Of just like Paul Blart bombing repeatedly. I would be on board with. The actress that played Maya said it was amazing when she did a scene with Kevin because you'd be talking to Kevin and then all of a sudden he would just be Paul Blart. He would just go into
Guys,
He would just go into Blart mode.
We've talked about this. Is there no ground left to tread?
Okay, I have to talk about some new developments from watching PB1.
Oh man.
Okay, but listen, I spent, Griffin, 90 minutes of my only life. I have to talk about it, or else.
You know the way you presented it, Travis. You said I sat down to watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, and I could not fathom pressing play.
Yes,
and so I doubled my Blart. It's very difficult to give sympathy to this fucking god-awful piece of
Hey,
decision
everybody,
making.
let's be quiet for a second while Guy Montgomery lectures Travis about his cinematic choices.
Speaking from a position of experience.
Okay. One, right at the top of the movie, we find out that Maya's mom was an illegal immigrant who tricked Kevin James into marrying her so she could get her green card, and then ran off, leaving her daughter to be raised by Paul Blart and his mom.
That's rough.
Yep.
God, that's rough.
Yes,
This movie, I don't trust this movie to handle that appropriately.
They don't.
Ah, shoot.
Yeah. There is a lot of extreme sports in this movie. For some reason, all of the criminals robbing the mall are on like mini bikes and skateboards and like inline skates and scooters and shit.
What is it with the fucking Adam Sandler verse and like unnecessary stunts?
This movie was the first January released movie to make $100 million in its first season.
Its first season?
Like the first season, without being re-released.
Okay.
And it was the first Happy Madison movie to make $100 million without Adam Sandler in it.
Can you go back to that one about a movie? It sounds so conditional and weird.
Oh, right. 1,000%, yes.
In its own season?
First security-centric.
Right. The bad guy in this, believe it or not, the bad guy in Paul Blart 1 is even more arch than Neil McDonough. Like, Neil McDonough is delivering a nuanced, like, well-thought-out performance compared to this dude playing a guy who starts off, for some reason, infiltrating the mall security system, I guess to learn the ins and outs, to then rob the mall. And there's like a heel turn there, and then another heel turn from a SWAT cop, spoilers, who I guess bullied Paul Blart in high school and is now a SWAT cop, but surprise, is also in on it.
Okay, I can't talk about it.
I just have two more that I have to tell you.
Great, two more. Wow.
Two more. This movie is, the Paul Blart 1 is so beat for beat Die Hard, but without ever actually like acknowledging like this is a parody of Die Hard, to the point where it's just plagiarism. Like there is a scene where he climbs up into an air duct to escape the bad guys, and it's not addressed like any, like there's no, and it's
This is an insane fucking point you're making.
No, hear
this
me
is
out.
an insane point you're
no,
making.
because like to the point where there is a cop on the outside that he's communicating with. When the SWAT shows up, they say, "What, you got some cowboy in there trying to fight him off?" At the end, there's a scene where a bad guy pulls a gun on him, and the cop that he's been talking to outside shoots him. Like there is beat for beat.
But to say that this, because it is not explicitly labeled a parody, that it is plagiarism.
I don't mean explicitly labeled. I mean there is never an indication. There's never a single wink at the camera of we know we're doing Die Hard.
Now, would you not argue that the movie being beat for beat a plot recap of Die Hard is them winking at? Do you really want Paul Blart to look at the camera and be like, "This is a we're doing
I'll
Die Hard"?
put it a different way. This is like, imagine if they thought they were to Die Hard as Deep Impact was to Armageddon. That is what it feels like to me.
Except it's not. It's Paul fucking Blart, Travis.
Griffin,
Deep Impact wasn't the Paul Blart of Armageddon.
Well,
I have a question for Tim and Guy.
Wait, sorry, I had one last thing.
Oh, fuck off.
This is the most important piece of context I will share with
to
you.
this film none of us have seen but you.
Yes.
Go on.
This is I promise you, it will change the way you look at Paul Blart 2.
Impossible.
Okay? I'll take that bet, sir. At the end of Paul Blart 1, he is offered a position in the New Jersey State Troopers, and he turns it down.
Holy
State Troopers,
crawfish.
It's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why would that change? How has that changed, Paul? How you watched PB2 after that? How did it change it for you? What
Because
lens
when
were
the
you now
movie
viewing?
begins and they're like,
Yes.
his life fucking sucks and he's a sack of shit and his wife left him because she was so grossed out by him and he's unhappy, all I could think was like, wait, what? Fuck you. Like, he gave up. Why did he decide not to take, like, this is all of his own making? He is being unmade by his hubris of saying, no, my place is at the mall. Instead of, maybe the wife left him because she was like, wait, you did fucking what? Take the state trooper job, my dude.
Now I'm back on Griffin's side. That didn't change it for me at all.
Yeah,
You guys are wrong. This blew
he's a
the whole
man-
thing wide open for me.
He's a man who makes poor decisions, and we get to watch and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh at the repercussions of those decisions.
Are we supposed to root for Paul Blart or not? He also blows up a rainforest cafe in PB1, which is pretty great.
That's very good.
I'm
I'm not
into
going to
that.
talk about the nature of Paul Blart's character again. Not fucking doing it. No way. No how.
Okay.
Not doing it. I will ask this to Tim and Guy. You all have made a career, if not a habit, out of watching films repeatedly. If you were doing a season of, and I'm just trying to get like a comparison here. If you're doing a season of Worst Idea of All Time, and you were staring down the barrel of 47 more watches of Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, how would you be feeling?
I am getting contact drunk hearing your voice right now.
I just had one glass of wine, Tim. I mainly am wanting to ask about the movie Paul Blart
There's a
Mall
scene
Cop
in
2.
PB1 where he gets drunk, and it's pretty funny.
Fuck off. Answer my question, Tim and Guy. Stop dodging the issue.
Sorry, what was the question?
I'll answer
How
it
does
because
this film... Okay, you've watched movies 52 times in a row, right? If you were staring down the barrel of 47 more watches, how does this film compare to the other films you have watched?
I'd like to initially answer the question by saying, Justin, that is exactly what we're doing. No imagination is required. I plan on staring down the barrel of this thing 60 to 70 more times.
Okay, on a weekly basis, though. I mean, we have a lovely year off.
That's right, yeah. And I've been meaning to talk to you guys about that. It does feel quite slack. I think that it's honestly, I'd be grateful that there's still stuff to find. 5 watches of a movie is nothing. That's it's breakfast. Like, you want to know when things are going to get dark. 10, 15, the 20s. Those are your darkest days. And to think about watching this, I don't know, to do it with any movie. I actually watched Grown Ups 2 yesterday just for sport. And
Don't say that even as a joke, man. That fucking gave me a full body shiver hearing
I did. I downloaded it.
This movie, though, I have watched all the movies you guys have watched. This movie is uniquely not a movie in a way that I think watching it repeatedly at a quick proximity would be painful, because this movie is so barely.
Yes.
I mean, it goes from the beginning to the end, right? Yeah, it's like, but
that's Grown Ups
so
2.
little artistry. Actually,
I was going to say, in our defense, Grown Ups 2.
Grown Ups 2 and this
if you
movie
can believe even
are
more of that.
are the same movie. They are tonally and structurally identical. Like, there's nothing inside of them. It's just a series of bad guesses by bad people, and then
Making good money.
the decision to inspect it so thoroughly is entirely ours. And I accept some culpability in that respect. But I do think that, I was watching behind the scenes interviews of Grown Ups 2, and Kevin James features heavily, and the blur, the crossover between those two films is strong. It's down to the fact it's a sequel.
It's
Yeah.
like
Sure.
the Sandler verse is made of that really weak physics,
Go
you
on.
can tear a hole in really easily, and then suddenly you're just in this. You're in the in-between now, and I feel like that's where we are. That's where we exist. That's where we podcast from. We're in
Can
the
we?
in-between.
It does feel like more than any other film I've watched, maybe. It feels like if you push the camera 2 degrees left or right, the whole thing would fucking just collapse in on itself. There's nothing to see over here. It's so barely holding together as a movie.
The structure of it, I only just this fifth watch realize is sort of Home Alone 2-esque, where you could tell the writer was like, well, we're making a sequel. Where are we going to do this one? Probably not a mall again, huh? We've sort of used up all the ideas. And then the other writer was like, what about a casino that has a bunch of shops in it? There's lots of set pieces there we could have a lot of fun with. What if he got in a thing of luggage and rolled down some stairs? That's fucking funny. Yeah, that's a good idea. So how are we going to get him to Vegas? I don't fucking know, man. I came up with the Vegas thing. And so everything before the crime happens, there's a second act of this movie where it's a different fucking movie. It's a wild, wild tonal shift.
Speaking of tonal shifts,
easy
I wanted
way
to
to
take a tonal shift into praising Paul Blart real quick. There was one deleted scene that I cannot believe they left out of the movie. Do you know the bit where he gets the drone and it's so weirdly truncated? It's like they're setting up an action beat and then nothing happens. There's a deleted scene where he is flying the drone around. And then he sees himself in the drone, the camera, right? And then he turns his back to the drone camera and then turns back around and looks at the drone and slowly flies it in to himself. He's talking to it. He says, "Please stop. Slow down. Bring her in easy," he says. But then he flies it right the fuck into his own face. And it is unfathomable that it didn't make the cut.
When animals are getting experimented on by sociologists to see if they have consciousness, they put a mirror in front of them to see if they recognize it. And this scene sounds like that is exactly the experience he did to himself in making Paul Blart 2. Kevin James, man, if you need to talk, if you need to hang out, you want to shoot the shit, just the sounding board, anything, any one of us are here for you, man. I know we make our little jokes and jibes, but every year we have to revisit the source material, and it makes me fucking sad that you're you, dude.
Yes, I do agree with that. I feel the same way. I watched it this time, where I thought, I bet Kevin James for a long time there was perfectly happy being like fourth on the list guy in a movie who did like 5 scenes and just had a good time doing it. And then at some point somebody said, "Do you want to star in a movie?" And he said, "Yeah, of course I do. How exciting." And then he started starring in movies and he was like, "Oh no, I hate this." But then he had to keep starring in movies.
He's pounding tush fucking 24/7, so I'm not gonna hear this. He's dropping gold deuces in a platinum turlet. I'm not gonna hear y'all. I'm not gonna hear it. Yeah.
Can I tell you guys just a weird kind of thing? I wanted.
Is it about Paul Blart 1?
No,
is it about
I wanted
Paul
to look
Blart
up who wrote this movie with Kevin James. It's a guy named Nick Bakay, who has written just a shit ton of stuff, including let's see, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. He was a co-producer for. He wrote an episode of Young Sheldon, 2.5 Men. But he's most famously known as the voice of Salem the Cat on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
What the fuck?
That is some red hot trivia.
Yeah.
Salem had a very distinct voice.
Why is he that?
I don't know.
Hold on, Griffin, again?
Why is he that? I don't like that. Hey, Trav, I don't like that. Why is he that?
Nope. Why is Salem the co-writer of Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
Thank you. Thanks, Tim. Hey, Trav, why is he that?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Why is that him, I guess, is my question.
Yeah.
I like it. I feel like they wrote, to further a point that Griff made not long ago, he wrote half of the movie, Kevin James wrote the other half, and then some fucking savant wrote a perfect short film and somehow crowbarred it into the middle because that is the structural breakdown of Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
It's so fucking true, man. There is an award-winning student film buried within this.
Yes, if you redid it in black and white with some like just strings and a little bit more like letterboxing, you could fucking make that into like something that won at Sundance.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's Pixar's first live action short.
Do you think he had to fight with the creator of it to like? Do you think he was begging like, just let me scream one thing at the bird, like, "Oh, you don't know," or something like that? Just one like joke that I can do as Kevin.
No, Kevin, we'll get that on the second pass, and we'll definitely use that one.
What sort of awful situation is this filmmaker in that the only vehicle, the only place they can find to release their, crowning jewel of cinema is inside of a Kevin James vehicle? I mean, he got a lot of eyeballs on it, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Well,
it was the
it
most
reminds me of a
successful
little story
January.
from
No, not Paul Blart
thriller.
2. Paul Blart 2 did not outperform Paul Blart 1.
And you're the only person in the world who can articulate why, and you're with 4 people who do not want to hear you do that.
Listen, Paul Blart 1 is just a better movie. And frankly, I watched it, and then I had to watch Paul Blart 2. And listeners who are now binging all 5 episodes, this will probably impact them and only them. I didn't laugh a single time watching it this time.
That's sorry to hear, because
There was
Myrtle and the banana are still, in spite of what Rachel
At one
says.
point, my 3-year-old daughter, who is the light of my life, looked at me and said, "Play with me, Daddy." And I said, "I can't. I have to watch Paul Blart 2.
There was a little kerfuffle a few months ago where I started getting these tweets from people saying, "Hey, Paul Blart 3 Hardline. Are you guys into this? Have you heard about it?" And there was a Paul Blart Mall Cop 3 Hardline Twitter account that was getting like a good amount of steam and was tweeting at the stars of the film Paul Blart Mall Cop 3 Hardline, and not a single one of them addressed this what I knew was a fake film, perhaps hoping that there would be like some producer who's like, "Hey, this thing's getting a lot of heat."
Oh, you know what?
This
You
Paul
got
Blart
me.
Mall
Let's
Cop
do it.
3.
That's so. I'm on that Twitter. I'm on the Twitter now, and it's sensational. It's very real.
It's really good. I mean, and the cast they've got.
I'd love to see it.
It's Paul Blart 3 movie. He's real and he's coming hard. At Paul Blart Mall. So here's who they got in the cast. They got Rob Gronkowski in it.
Too real. I'm out. Too real. I'm out.
Gary Valentine is back as Saul Gunderbutt. Jake Johnson, which I would be, I think, too funny for the film. Zoe Saldana in Paul Blart Mall Cop 3 Hardline. Chris Hemsworth, which seemed like a stretch.
Okay.
That was the one that seemed like a stretch to me.
And Kevin James is back.
And they're just really tweeting at these real people, and not a single one of them. Yeah, obviously.
The thing is,
Kevin is back.
You can believe the veracity of the tweets as well, because before every tweet they write in caps lock official. Yes, it's huge.
Isn't it weird that Paul Blart 2 doesn't have like a subtitle? But they just called it Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, and it's not like Paul Blart Mall Cop like Blarter than ever, that there's no like
good Blart to Mall Cop.
Right? Like there's no additional
I mean, it would
thing.
be always bet on Blart or something, Vegas. What happens in Vegas.
Well, now we all get to pick one.
Fuck. I can't believe you set up a bit like that.
I'd like to go first with Paul Blart 2. Oh, no, I've already lost it.
Okay.
And I will stand behind that as my offer.
I know we lost it. Here's mine. And this is gonna tie into everything. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, Mall In.
Oh,
Okay.
this is a subtitle.
Yeah, and it's like, because it's both all in.
Mall In is actually pretty
and mall
good.
in, right?
Yeah,
so it's
fuck.
like Mall In.
Nice.
Yeah.
can you have a cuss word
Yes.
as a subtitle? Because it's something like Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 shithead. And it's just, but the rest of the words would be really small, and shithead would be really big.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2. What? And then what happens in Blart stays in Blart.
That does set it up like kind of an inner space thing.
That's where the third one has to go, right?
Yes.
We haven't said it, but we've all sort of assumed the third one goes inside Blart's own body
Yes.
like inner space.
The fourth one is Blart in Heaven, of course. And now the fifth one is Blart in Hell. And it's a direct sequel.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that the guy who played
God
Lane
damn.
was the son on How I Met Your Mother?
Oh,
That actually tracks. Yeah, that makes sense.
all right. That's about it for me, I think.
Oh, wait, hold on. I should do one of these. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. You guys tried any of this acid?
Did you? What was the? Okay, we talked a lot about your friend Acid because you're such a fucking wastoid. But what was the VR experience like? How did that accentuate it? Did you
Subpar. There's a whole journey that you go on when you're embarking on trying to force 2D cinema into a virtual reality realm.
Right.
And man, the biggest lesson I learned from today is we're not ready for VR. Like me as a person, maybe the things we're producing for cinema, but more so the technology that we wield. Because I tell you what, it was very frustrating. My phone kept overheating, and then I became very aware that it was like strapped to the front of my eyes. And if anything happened to the battery, like the thing that kills me, and this could definitely have happened, would be Kevin James consuming my entire field of vision while my brain was just having a kickabout experiencing itself. And then suddenly a lithium ion battery, the barrier just permeates just enough to create a chain reaction where I am destroyed in a shrapnel of Blart and plastic. And it's a pretty bleak vision of the future.
That's how I want to go.
Right. So this has been Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 review show. Till Death Do Us Blart. It's our 5th episode, 2019. Do you guys want to plug anything while you're here? I mean, you've done all this.
It's so funny because when we started this journey together, you were still a far bigger show and entity than we will probably ever be. But now it's even more true, and it feels like in the same way that we're all tied to the anchor of Kevin James. As each year goes by, you will learn that you are more anchored to Guy and I, which brings me a lot of hilarity. We're going to try and dust off the old format of the worst idea of all time and kick it into high gear for 2020. We're experimenting with a new form, and I can't say any more than that, but it's going to be high stakes hijinks.
Wow. I am on pins and needles.
Does that mean you're doing Paul Blart Mall Cop 2? Because that's really going to take the legs out from under this particular project.
It would just mean that we'll be having a different conversation a year from now. But I would like to say that under no circumstance will that be happening.
Okay.
What if we watched Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 50 times in a row over the next 4 weeks, and then we just put out episodes over the next 50 years, and then we
that's a good idea.
Then we were just
stockpile them a
done.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're done.
You know what? That's
I
what's
don't
gonna
wanna
happen.
Fucking do that.
We're gonna do that.
No way.
That's what's gonna happen.
Not doing
Okay,
that.
cool.
Not happening.
That feels like not forwarding a chain email 10 years ago. You're really asking for it if you're mucking around with stuff like that.
You can find our stuff at McElroy.family. Thanks for hey, listen, lots of shows beg you for ratings and reviews. I don't give a shit,
Don't.
but because we have
don't.
nothing writing on this, but it would be so fucking cool of you to just tweet about this, please, because it's so nightmarish. And at this point, I thought about a lot the fact that we're entering this phase where It's 5 episodes in. It's going to be diminishing returns in terms of audience growth. Like, no one is going to hop on to a Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 review show 5 episodes in. So we've really got to cultivate and grow this core audience.
I think you're right in the immediate future, but you got to look long term. 10, 20 years from now, it's gonna start being pretty interesting again.
I thought about that. It's funny you say that, Guy. There was an episode where you guys are thinking about bailing on the worst movie of all time, and it's like 20 episodes in, and your argument is like, if you watch Grown Ups 2 every week for a year, that's something. If you watch Grown Ups 2 every week for 20 weeks, that's nothing. Like, you haven't done any. And watching the movie this year, I wondered, like, when will this be something again? Like, when will this be like
The first 3 years
you've watched it for
something.
20 years is for sure something. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. You know, no one cares about a 6th birthday, but I, for one, look forward to celebrating it with you, my family.
Okay.
As the host, I feel like we're all angling towards wrapping up the conversation, so I'd just like to say thanks so much for tuning in. Have a very
No, wait, hold on.
happy-
I have a very important plug I have to say. I tweeted about having to watch this movie.
Is it for the first movie?
I tweeted about this movie and I said I have to watch it, and a lot of people were like, you don't have to, and a lot of other people responded like, well, it's his job because of this podcast. We don't get paid to make this, and in fact, producing this is financially not a benefit to anyone. So please, today or tomorrow or whenever you listen to this, go and donate to some cause you believe in. Please make
Something of worth.
Please make this worth it. Like, please.
Here's how bad it is for us, gang. We have a website, can't update it. Don't remember any of it. Still at episode 3, still stuck there. Got an email address, check it so infrequently we can't get emails to it anymore. I don't know what's going on there.
Twitter, apparently. We have a Twitter account, supposedly.
We have a Twitter account. I have lost the login. Don't know it. Can't fix it. Can't tweet about the show.
All those things died before we did.
That's all over
So
with.
anyways,
So
donate
it's
to something
just you.
good because of this bad thing we have to do.
Yeah.
And send the receipts of your donations to Kevin James.
Yeah, do it in the name of Kevin James.
We'll appreciate that. Do it in the name of Anna Gasteyer. Fuck
Yeah,
Kevin
that's
James.
fair.
That dude
Anna
fucking...
Gasteyer, DB Woodside, Neil McDonough.
If Anna Gasteyer is a charity of choice, I would love to support Anna Gasteyer's favorite charity.
Hi, welcome to Anna
'Cause we're great.
Gasteyer's Foundation, where it's just every time you watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, you have to donate $100 to some kid somewhere.
Just fucking find out what is important to the big sticky mess guy and support it in any way that you can.
He's actually all about cleaning up the environment, ironically.
You could actually fucking throw Anna Gasteyer, whose Twitter handle is exactly what you think it is. Just throw her a nice fucking tweet right now. Like, hey, Anna Gasteyer, you fucking thank you for your sacrificial work in Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
a real act of generosity. And have a wonderful day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next year. Look after yourselves and each other. Good evening, good morning. God bless you, everyone.
And our sign off, as always, not today, Death.
No, that's our new
Amen.
sign off, actually. Everything Guy just said.
Oh, okay.